and welcome to my channel. My name is Oscar Mbira. I'm a certified program and project manager. This is the channel I help aspiring and practicing project managers to succeed. So in this video, it's part of the series of the episodes that I've created, and I'm sharing with you the lessons that I've learned in my 25 years experience, where I was able to implement successfully 15 projects. So this is the 7th episode, which I'm creating on the lessons. This is the channel. And in this video, we are focusing more on the lessons that I've learned, specifically on the technical side of project implementation. And I thought it's very paramount for me to share with you these lessons so that you can apply them from your current project or to the next project. So let's get started. Lesson number 77. Data migration is complex. Some they want to call it data migration. I think it means the same thing. So when it comes to data migration, what do we mean by data migration? You are moving information from one source to the destination. It could be electronic source to electronic source, physical source to electronic source. At the end of the day, you are migrating, you are moving data from one point to the other. In some cases, you find when they're doing data migration, they also introduce a middle part called staging, where you also do your transformation, your changes, your enrichments before you go to the destination. So always data migration activities are complex in a project, and I would advise from my experience that you set up a mini project specifically to do the data migration from either the old system to the new system. This normally happens if, say for example, your organization or your company, they are changing system from an old one to the new one. So because most of the data is still contained or housed or storaged in the old system, they have to move them to the new system. Normally, it's not a one-to-one movement. They might need to transform the information, they extract it, they transform, and then they load it to the new system. So that process is always complex. As a project manager, from my experience, I would advise you set up a mini project specifically for data migration with a project manager or project lead who is responsible for data migration, with teams who are also responsible for data migration from extraction point of view to enrichment, which is the staging area, and also to loading, and in general, also for reconciliation. You need the data to be reconciled from old system to the new system. That will make the project very successful. I'm going to create another additional video specifically on data migration because it's a big subject. You need to check out my channel for that. I hope you've enjoyed this video so far. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button so that you are the first person to be notified each time a new video is uploaded on this channel. Lesson number 78. Don't underestimate the complexity or the challenges in integrating to legacy system. What do we mean by legacy system? Legacy system is the old system that you have been using before either you intend to upgrade or to change to the new system. So that integration is not very easy. For example, you might say, I can give you a good example of banking because it's very common for everyone to understand what is banking. You're changing your banking system. Your banking system was linked to cards, for example. This card system is what we're calling legacy system. It was linked to check system. This check system is what we're calling legacy system. It was linked to mobile. This mobile system is what we're calling legacy. Maybe it was linked to internet banking system. This internet banking system is what we're calling the legacy system. So from my experience, integrating with this legacy system is not an easy task. And like I advised under data migration, the very critical and important point for you to do as a project manager is to make sure that you also isolate that specific integration to the legacy system, run it as a mini project. Hear it from me, run it as a mini project. Don't take it as a task. So when you run it as a mini project, it means you have a leader in that section. You also have members executing for the integration. If you don't do it very well, you will find it very difficult to connect or to integrate and use the information from the legacy system. So integration with the legacy system is always complex. It requires meticulous planning and execution for you to achieve in the project. Lesson number 79. Always plan for integration challenges. That is system integration challenges. In the previous lesson, we spoke about the complexity that is involved when you want to integrate with the legacy system. The next lesson that I'm sharing with you is to make sure that you prepare for these challenges. Normally, it's not very smooth to integrate with any system. This is not even legacy. There's a system that you want to use. For example, it's an accounting system that you want to use. For example, it's a project management system that you want to use, for example. Integrating with those systems is normally a challenge. You should prepare and always make sure that you are ready for the challenges that are going to come, especially post-implementation of the project or post-integration with the system. Always make sure that you plan for the challenges that normally come with integration of systems. That is on the technical side. I've learned my lessons, I'm sharing with you. Lesson number 80, always plan for scalability. So what do we mean by scalability? You cannot have a system, especially the software system, that can only work today. You want to have a software solution that can scale with the increased volume or business of the organization, whether today, tomorrow, after 2 years or 3 years, or even 5 years. So the volumes can also increase. So you should be able to make sure that you are planning for scalability. That is going to save the project. You cannot run a project or you cannot implement a project that can only be used for 6 months, 7 months. Then it becomes necessary again to do another project. It means as a project manager, the way you are visualizing the advantages or the objectives of the project was also limited. So always make sure that you are planning for scalability if it's applicable. There are certain projects where you don't need to think about scalability. But in software industry, you need to think about scalability to cater for the future growth and also for the future volume or increased volume in the operation of the organization. That is very critical. Lesson number 81. You should always use the project management tools wisely in the project. For example, you might have a tool you're using to capture meeting minutes. It could be an AI-based system. Just make sure that you're using the right one that is going to serve the purpose. You might even have a tool that you're using to share documents. You should make sure that you're using the one that is right for the project. That is the one that is secure, the one which everyone can trust. If you don't use your project management tools wisely, you might end up with information leaking, either to the wrong people or even to some stakeholders who might blow things out of proportion. So it is always important that you select the right tools to use in a project for you to be able to be successful. If you use the wrong tools, it will be very difficult for you to manage or even to control information flowing into the project or information going out of the project. So use of project management tools is very important. Lesson number 82. You should always automate any repetitive tasks, which means if there are certain tasks, in the morning, you're supposed to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the afternoon, you're also supposed to do the same. In the evening, you're also supposed to do the same. Those are candidate tasks for automation. Automation in a project is very important. It helps most of these tasks to be completed. You also reduce the effort required by members. You also reduce the effort that is going to be put by members towards the repetitive tasks. So automation is very important in a project. I always automate so many things in my project, especially the sending of meetings, for example, the taking of minutes. This time we're using AI technology. It can even take the minutes and also summarize for you. So automation is very important. It can also help the project to be successful or to fail. So as a project manager, from the beginning of the project, you should be able to identify any tasks that you need to automate throughout the project. That is going to save the project. That is going to help the project to be successful. So I'm sharing with you this lesson. If you are running a project right now and you're not even automating some of the repetitive tasks, then there is going to be a challenge for you to deliver that project. So make sure that you always automate some of the tasks that you normally do in a procedural way over the course of the project. Lesson number 83. Always make sure you're using dashboards for transparency. Dashboards, they also help you to share information. They also help you to have a quick overview on how the project is running. So dashboards are very important for you as a project manager, for other project members and stakeholders. So always make sure that you're using dashboards to show transparency. You're using dashboards to share information. You're also using dashboards to share information or to make reports to any of the project members, to any of the stakeholders in the project. Lesson number 84. Always make sure that you are staying ahead of the technical trends. For example, for the last 3 or 4 years, there was this buzz about AI. So as a project manager, this is an opportunity for you to look into how best can you use AI for project management tasks. I've used it for my projects. It has helped. For example, If someone is going to provide any requirements or any document, I use AI to read for me the document, to give me a summary of the document, so that by the time I go to the document, I have the summary of the document. I can also quickly explain, or I can also quickly plan for the activities that are required in that document. So that is very important. If you want me to create any additional videos based on the lessons that we have discussed earlier, or you have got any specific questions or any clarification you might need based on this video, let me know in the comment section below.